We'll try this again. All right, hey everybody. I think we got this right now. I am live. Better than being dead. So, what was the problem I had? Well, the problem I had was I was recording, but I was streaming as unlisted. So I'm going to have to make that public. And then underneath this video, you will have the unlisted made public link to watch the first part of this video. I know it's an unusual way to do it, but I can't splice them together unless they're downloaded and then re-uploaded, and that defeats the purpose of being live. So after my walk, I will put the link underneath, and then you can check it out. The first part of the walk today. So now I am streaming publicly. I was wondering why nobody was watching me. Well, that's why. I had it unlisted. Now we are public. So I am in Lewiston, Maine. I'm going on the 5-mile walk, which we will enjoy today. It's in the mid-50s and perfectly blue skies, as you see. A couple of clouds, no big deal. Spring is trying its best. It's coming. So anyway, as I was talking about, the state of Maine here was having the judiciary committees in Augusta discussing the gun bills, LD 2224 mainly. A proposal which would add a 72-hour wait list for the purchase or transfer of firearms. I'd like to welcome you if you're watching. I do have the live chat on, so you should be able to chat and ask questions or say whatever you like. So, somebody sent me a chat message. So hello, thank you for watching. So LD 224, 72-hour waiting period. They also want to buff up the yellow flag laws for better mental health. But as stated in the previous portion of this video that I streamed unlisted by accident, which I will put underneath this video afterwards. I'll make it public and attach it. But they were discussing the legal loopholes they would have to go through to take somebody's rights away, guaranteed by the Constitution. So it was interesting listening to that from the legal aspects. They want to make it, and I agree with this, they want to make it where somebody can voluntarily say, all right, I'm a danger to myself and others. I'm worried. I want to willingly sign a waiver of my firearm rights temporarily. But the catch is they want to make it where they can't keep a record of people that have done that. So it doesn't deter them from doing that. They want people to be able to do that. Then when the danger has been abated, get their firearms back, and then have the record that they even did this erased from all records so it can't be used against them in the future. So I think that's a good idea, and my issue is always the same as it always comes down to, is if you give gun-grabbing Democrats an inch, they'll take a mile. A couple of interesting Republican bills that were defeated recently was removing the idea that you could tax ammunition sales on the internet. Oh, an ambulance. There's an ambulance dispensary that we just passed, so that happens. But anyway, it looks like the Democrats want to leave the possibility of taxing ammo sales online, which is basically the blueprint they have done in all the other crazy blue states that prevent people from buying ammo online. They do that with everything. They increment it. So they take a little bit now, take a little bit later, take a little bit more later. So that's what they're discussing today in Augusta, Maine. The other one is basically the private transfer of firearms. Currently in Maine, you can buy a firearm from anybody for classifieds without an FFL. Long guns. Pretty sure you can buy handguns too. Not sure on that. But I do know that, you know, I regularly look at things like, yesterday I looked at a 1952 Marlin 336. Pretty good shape. They wanted to trade another firearm for it. There was another one for sale from the 60s, JM stamped barrel, 30-30 Winchester, Marlin 336. And they wanted $1,300 for it. But basically you just email or call them, say, hey, yeah, I'd like to buy your firearm. I'll pay cash. I'll meet you in the parking lot on the corner of so-and-so. And then you do a trunk buy for a firearm. So that's the kind of thing that is legal here in Maine that they are trying to make illegal. I'll be veering off up ahead here so we won't get all this traffic noise. I won't have to yell. So anyway, thank you for watching from Lewiston, Maine. This is the Bates College campus here. That's the ice hockey rink. You got their running track down there. Tennis courts, football field, grandstands. I believe this is in the top 20 colleges. Bryant Gumbel went here. Senator George Mitchell went here. David Hasselhoff, the Knight Rider, went here. So a lot of people have come through the turnstiles. But anyway, hello, I'm Beau. I'm on my 5-mile walk, streaming live. Don't know what we're going to see. I usually see something interesting. If the camera's a little shaky, I'm sorry. I'm using a telescoping selfie stick and my cell phone, a Samsung, which does record good quality video, I will say. This should be streaming in 720p. I chose that just to have something half decent, and because I've tested it, and something that will handle the bandwidth. Alright, so I'm going to cut up here. I'm going to walk on the grass. So it is in the mid-50s today, like I said. I am working on a AR-10 .308 caliber video for the channel. I want to get some more footage. My brother and my partner in crime installed new sights on it, iron sights. We had to get a specific set for the AR-10 and that particular Panther Arms model, where we're having difficulty with your traditional set of flip-up sights being too low. So this raised it up a bit because we were shooting low. Maxed it out and it wasn't fixing the problem. So we got the red dot all sighted in nice, but the iron sights were, well, not so good. And we recorded footage about maybe 110 yards, shot a 3-inch wide tree, somewhere between 3 and 4 inches, and hit it all 3 times on 3 shots. And I took some shots and I shot low underneath. That was before we adjusted it. So we were in the process of sighting it, but I guess the issue was I didn't get good footage of sighting a 308 for an AR-10. So I want to get some more footage this weekend. I do have a review for it on the channel. Panther Arms, excellent rifle. Works wonderfully. So, yeah, I'm just doing my 5-mile and almost, I call it an almost daily walking vlog. I walked 5 miles yesterday, 6 miles the day before. I got my stamina up in full swing. And you can see some of Lewiston, Maine, if that's something you're interested in. But it's nice to have people to talk to on here. Usually I record my walks and then upload them separately, but live streaming them would be a lot easier. So we're trying this out. I got a really good sweat going right now. Now, something I was noticing online for ammo sales, I've been seeing, oh, I love this old Corvette. Check this out. I've passed this a few times. This looks like an early 90s, I'm guessing. Looks like it needs a little bit of TLC. I got some nice wheels on there. Those are new. So somebody's fixing this up. That's going to be pretty cool. They're doing some work. That is pretty awesome. So basically for the gun channel, you know, it's mainly a gun channel, but I just catalog things that I like to do. Some people will like them and they won't. That's why I made playlists for everything. So if you like vinyl records, check out the vinyl records playlist. I don't have too much on there for that yet, but I do have a rather large, extensive vinyl collection, quite a few thousand actually, and I never make videos because everybody else does on there. I kind of felt like that about firearms too. It's like I'm not really adding anything new and special, so I'm not monetized. I qualify to be monetized, by the way, but I'm not generating enough traffic for that, I don't think. And then when you get monetized, basically I don't want to end up having ads. Somebody clicks on something to watch and they get an ad in their face, and then another ad, and then they got to put their ad blocker on. So I mean, I should monetize the channel because I qualify, but I don't really know what the hell Google would even pay for that, to be honest with you. If you know the answers to any of this stuff, just go ahead and shoot them down in the replies. Anyway. And yes, I like to talk a lot. I talk a lot even when somebody's watching or not watching. I pre-record the videos, usually. But I think I'm going to do more live streaming, just because the ease and practicality of it. It takes a couple hours to upload, because you record something at 1080p with the GoPro, and an hour and a half walk is like 40 gigabytes. And it's like you're sitting there all day waiting for it to upload. Then you got to transfer it to what you're uploading from, because it's recorded on a mobile device. Take out the SD card, transfer it. So all in all, it takes too much time out of every day to, keep a good weblog. So live streaming is the way to go. YouTube does make it easy. A few years ago it wasn't, so I never bothered. So now this is College Street in Lewiston. I'm going to head over down up this way. And again, I've mentioned this a bunch of times, but these white ribbons, these are to commemorate the mass shooting we had here in Lewiston, because that was pretty terrible. So you'll see them on these telephone poles, because the just-in-time bowling alley is just a half mile up this way, right around the corner. So, and I got to tell you, from a gun channel point of view, I was always like, well, we're in Maine, constitutional carry, everybody carries here. The likelihood of a mass shooting even getting underway enough to really be effective would be slim. Somebody's going to put them down. And that's true. And I go shopping, and, the Walmart here has a sign in the door that says, kindly refrain from openly displaying your firearms. It doesn't say no firearms. People don't want to go shopping without their firearms. I don't. Just-in-time bowling alley, however, they had a posted sign in the door, no firearms. And Maine state law says if they do that and you get busted with a firearm, you'll get charged with a felony, constitutional carry or not. So you have to respect those signs. And it really just still eats at me that a 40-year police officer veteran, retired, had his firearm and left it in the car, and ended up defending kids by flipping tables over while they're being shot at. It just kills me. It eats me, because he was trained, should have been able to defend everybody. Now, this guy from the surveillance video I saw didn't have body armor on, not that I could see. He didn't have a tack helmet. It would have been a clean, easy shot. 3 people armed would have taken him out in seconds. He might have killed 1 or 2, if anybody. So, it doesn't take much mental processing if somebody walks through the door with an AR and you're carrying a firearm. You don't have to take any time at all to say, oh, I wonder if it's okay to shoot. So, anyway, we've got a playground here. We've got some kids way in the distance having fun today. Formerly Pettingill School. So anyway, Republicans here tried to introduce a bill holding businesses liable for damages if a mass shooting happened. And that failed, because the Democrats lead the House here by quite a bit. Which is kind of funny, because Mainers love their guns, and they couldn't get any gun legislation passed last year. And they're having a rough start this year, too. They're trying to use the mass shooting as I call it as milking it. They're milking the mass shooting to pass legislation and punish gun owners. And even a leftist newspaper here, Portland Press Herald, a few miles away, wrote an op-ed saying, the Democrats are going to make a mistake in Maine if they punish gun owners, because many of the gun owners here are Democrats. They're not going to like that. Which is why they couldn't get 72-hour waiting period passed last year. So now they're bringing it around again for a second time. they think voters will accept it now that they have had a mass shooting. So we'll see what happens with it. It did pass out of committee, so they will have a vote on it on the floor after it gets out of judiciary. So you need to contact your legislature, your legislators, your representatives, senators. It's easy to find out. You can look that up. You can Google it. If you're not sure, find your district. My senator from Maine here is Peggy Rotundo, Androscoggin County. I'm in the second most populated city in the state of only about 39,000. So Maine is a very small rural state. Pretty much any direction you go, within 5 miles, you're at a lake. You can go canoeing, shoot firearms. So 72-hour waiting period. One of the concerns expressed by a Democrat was, what if I want to go hunting and I have a firearm malfunction? My hunting ammo I bought was, whatever caliber, just pick something. And I need a rifle that shoots that. My hunting license says I have this window to shoot in. So I want to go buy a firearm so I can go hunting tomorrow. There's a lot of shops that backlogged if you want to have something done for a repair. So the argument from the Democrat was, what do I do if that happens? I can't go hunting? Because there's a 2-hour waiting period on firearm purchases now. So there's a lot of valid reasons why that's not good. Well, we're going to see where things lie. It didn't pass last year. Let's see if they can pass it this year after using the blood of the innocent as a leverage tool. So, other firearm things, it really burns my rear end. Congressman Jared Golden here in Maine is sending out his aides, or his lackeys as I call them. They are sending emails to local gun shops asking them if they could promote putting AR-15s and quote-unquote assault rifles, if they could start planting that policy with their customers of having a tax stamp. See, Jared Golden, who is a blue dog moderate Democrat in a red seat, thinks that by saying your AR-15 has to be registered with the government and you have to pay a tax stamp to own it is some sort of solution. He's crazy. And, by the way, he was the only Democrat congressman in D.C., the only single one who had voted against all anti-gun legislation. He voted against the assault rifle ban. He voted against everything. Now he changed his mind. Right when the end of the fiscal year as a congressman, where you have to raise $1 million for your party, as a sitting Congress member, you have to fundraise all the time. He was obviously coming up short. So the Maine Wire, which is a really good news reporting agency that's independent, Susan Collins just referenced that actually, on the illegal Chinese marijuana grows in Maine. Mainstream media is not covering this stuff anymore. So you get this independent media we have to rely on for news. But Jared Golden, it was reported that 2 of George Soros' relatives, a sister-in-law and another relative of George Soros, donated to Jared Golden's campaign. in December. Actually, it was just after Thanksgiving. So 2 weeks after that money was donated, all of a sudden Jared Golden does a 180 and he wants assault rifles banned by the time he leaves Congress. So, my friends, that is how things work in Washington, D.C. The money talks, and the congressman walks along that tune. So he's going to try to compromise, make the Democrats happy, and make the Republicans happy by, well, we'll just require a tax stamp to own an assault rifle in Maine. Democrats here own AR-15s. They just do. Always have. It's always been like that. So we have a lot of cool stuff. You know, we got the AR-10 was the first AR format that we forayed into. I'm perfectly happy with the Ruger Mini 14 and the Mini 30 and whatever else. They're reliable. You can see all the stuff that got caused with that big windstorm we had. We had a lot of flooding, torrential rains. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching. I don't know how to get the chat to stay on the screen so I can read what was asked me. Somebody asked a question and I saw it for a second. We'll do all chat messages. I don't know. It's a mystery. Anyway, let's watch people running here. Thank you. She's like, he's recording, I better be careful. I won't run him over. So this is the left up here you would take to go to Just-in-Time Recreation, which is now not even a quarter mile away. It's literally just up the street on the left. Pretty horrible shooting. And, you know, I've said it before, I'd like to say that's really great that his firearm malfunctioned while he was shooting. But that is, right? But that is like, that goes the other way too, because his firearm malfunctioned and he went to his backup shoot 'em up spot, which was Spenge's Bar and Grill, about less than a mile from here. So he went and finished his rampage over there. Unfortunately, he might not have gone to the backup place if the firearm hadn't malfunctioned in Lewiston at just in time, I guess is my point. So basically anything I talk about on my channel, I'm not an expert in anything. So when you see my videos where I'm repairing a firearm, it's only because I've done it before. So I already know what's there, or I'll say in the video, I've never done this before, let's see what happens. But I am pretty happy about hitting 1.6 thousand subscribers. Thank you very much for that. That's really awesome. Appreciate that very much. And if you're wondering why I'm walking, well, I'm 55 years old. A few years ago, I was getting fat, like most 55-year-olds do. So I started walking a mile here, a mile there. Then I went to 2 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles. And then it went to 5 miles twice a week, 3 times a week. So I've already, this week, I have a 6 mile walk in, 5 mile, 5 mile, and a 4 mile in the past 5 days. So, needless to say, I am very happy with the results. I fit into my high school clothes again. Had a couple of pair of designer jeans I had bought a few years ago until I couldn't wear them because I was getting fat. And now I fit in them again, so it's pretty awesome. Anyway. Whew. I got some good heart rate and blood flowing right now. Now, I don't know how much firearm news that I'm not up on. I think as far as the Maine stuff, which obviously, because I live here, that's pretty important to me. Illinois still looks like they're not doing anything to carry out their threat with their gun registration. I mean, they had about a 1% or less compliance. So that ought to give the gun grabbers the indication that even a strict communist dictator state like Illinois, you're not going to be able to force people to abandon the Second Amendment, even through threats, legal intimidation. So they're not going to prosecute 2 million people that didn't comply. I mean, that would be ridiculous. Which kind of lends to that thing I was talking about. I think they were waiting until their legislation comes back in. They should all be sworn in now. And my personal guess about their modus operandi and how they do things is in Illinois, they're going to start making an example. They're going to go out and find maybe 3 Republicans that own firearms, and they're not going to pick just Joe Blows. They're going to pick somebody that didn't comply, that maybe the town knows or something, and they're going to make an example of those people to try to intimidate the other ones to comply, to go like, well, if they went after them, they'll come after me. I better register everything like they said and give up my Second Amendment rights. So, and you know, the thing is they use that FOIA, what the hell, firearm license. It's some kind of firearm identification license in Illinois. So you have to be one of these card-carrying people to buy ammo and firearms. So that is allegedly what they were going to lose if they didn't comply. So that potentially might open the market for black market firearm sales. It's just not good business what they did in Illinois. It's really, making an enemy of the people is never the right way to do things, not in this country, because it will come around to get you. The Second Amendment is enshrined in the Constitution, period. It's something most people would die to protect. And that's just the fact of it. Ooh, it is a nice day today. I'm going to do a 6-mile walk today. I'm probably at around 3, close to it. I have a difficult time seeing the screen in the bright sunlight. That's the other problem I have. can't get if you ask a question in the text in the chat, it doesn't stay on the screen for me to see it. It's there for a couple seconds, then goes away. So I don't know what I got to do to make it stay so I could see it. Is there anything I can do? I don't know. I've never used this before. Well, anyway. The live streaming app is live streaming. We're good to go. So this is my neighborhood. Part of it. So basically, many people here own firearms. I have liberal relatives that own firearms. They carry firearms. So the media likes to play their little story of Republicans are evil people, blah, blah, blah. But there's a lot of independents in Maine that own firearms. And in Maine, you cannot win an election without independents. My county here, Androscoggin County, is a liberal county, governed by liberals. Yet, Donald Trump won this county. He didn't win it the first election against Hillary, but he won it the last one. And Trump made an absolute killing in Maine this past primary. And of course, they advertised for him by banning him and kicking him off the ballot. So that was free advertisement for independents that don't like government to begin with. We have a Libertarian Party here. And we have a Green Party, which are basically just left loons. I don't know why they call themselves independents. And a Democrat Party. And the Republican Party. So anyway, they allowed semi-open primaries here. And Trump got like 71% of the primary vote. Which is right around the same number as red states got. Now, unless you're talking Missouri, that's 90%, things like that. But Donald Trump has locked up the nomination. He got all the delegates he needed. So that's official. It is now Trump versus Biden. And a lot of people got on Trump about not being 2A enough. I think he did just fine. I don't support every viewpoint Trump has. I don't support all of his rhetoric. But I support the basic principle that this country is in trouble and we need to do something. So I like Trump a lot. I've seen 5 of his rallies. Once before he was president. This time around, he seems to be a lot more civil as far as Trump goes. I think that's going to be a wise tactic for independents. It's going to be an interesting election year for firearm owners because if the Democrats run the table in November in the Senate and the House, it's all over, folks. They've made their move on everything else in other states. They will pass national legislation to make it easier for those states. And things will go to the Supreme Court. Who knows what they're going to do there. So, anyway. Hope you all having a beautiful day today. That's all I'm saying. And I am going to make it a regular thing to walk and try to live stream at least once a week and upload non-live, whatever makes my life easier. Now we're going to pass a veteran's house up here. I know this because I've walked this route so many times. And it has the POW MIA flag, as well as the USA flag, which I salute every time I walk by it. You should salute the flag too. There we are. Definitely not forgotten. I'll stop and give a salute. So I just run my little channel here on YouTube and talk about what I want to talk about, and I realize that I kind of learned the hard way that you're not going to make everybody happy. I've had some people that like vinyl records unfollow my channel. Oh, you're a Republican, you support MAGA, and you support this and that. I can't follow you. I can't follow you. So they didn't follow me. And people like that, man, that's just not cool. If somebody's watching my channel, subscribes to it, that, you know, says on their channel they're voting for Biden or they support this or that, I'm not going to go block them over who they choose to vote for. I mean, how stupid is that? That is just dumb. So this is an example of some of the recent storm damage. They cut these trees down because they were uprooting. As you can see, they're pulling out of the ground. So they cut them up. We had some nasty wind that did that. Some of my other videos on woods walks, you can see how big some of these trees were that uprooted. And the roots on the tree that flipped over are taller than me, and I'm over 6 feet tall. So some of these were huge. I thought pine trees really rooted a lot deeper than they do. So we have mixed neighborhoods here. This neighborhood here is what I call a Republican neighborhood. And I say that because on these walks I see Republican signs on the lawn. I see Trump flags and things like that. And then just a little ways up the road around the corner, all you'll see is the rainbow stuff and Democrat signs. So we have a lot of, we get a pretty good mixed batch in Maine. And I know the rest of the country thinks Maine is some liberal blue nutbag state, but we're really not. I tell people that all the time. You know, Maine is a purple state. Right now it's blue. In 2015 it was red. We got constitutional carry. We got all kinds of things going on then. So, and the voters voted for it, so they can't get rid of it. I can tell it's burning their rear end. So, in Maine, instead of just coming out with anti-gun legislation, they know they can't. Because, like I said, Democrats own AR-15s here and other things. Now they're going to mess around with 72-hour waiting period. They're calling it a gun safety measures because of the mass shooting we had. So if we hadn't had that mass shooting, there wouldn't be anything to vote for. And that's the thing I don't like about the mass shootings, besides the fact that people get killed, obviously, is it doesn't help us. So as gun owners, we need to police ourselves. If you are on a social media group and some guy is making threats, you can damn well bet there's a reason why he's saying that, and most people know that's not cool to do. So if you know who they are, you should report them for their own good, not so they get in trouble. But this guy, Robert Card here in Lewiston, he lived like 5 or 6 miles from my house. I don't live that far from the bowling alley he shot up. That could have been me bowling that night and gotten killed, you know? And this guy was telling people, he was making threats months and months before he did that. So if you know somebody doing that, you need to do something about it, because that hurts all us gun owners in the long run. And I don't want to lose my rights because people didn't say anything. It's okay. It's okay to rat on somebody if it's something serious. And that's the other thing that was talked about in the media a little bit here, is this Robert Card shooter and his National Guard unit here in Maine had a few police officers in it, and they knew he wasn't right. And Robert Card was a shooting instructor. Very good at what he does. So I saw the body cam footage from the New York State Police where they were talking with him, and he just told them, so look, I'm hearing these voices. These people are talking about me. I can hear them. They're saying I'm a pedophile, I'm this, and they better stop. He goes, because I am capable of doing something about it, he said. I've been trained and I'm capable. Said it right to the officers. Now, New York State doesn't know anything about Maine's yellow flag laws. Military obviously didn't care about it. Yellow flag laws in Maine is a good law. You can only have your firearms taken if somebody petitions the court, and it has to be a psychiatrist or law enforcement. And it has to be temporary. You get your guns back later when you're no longer a danger. So, problem is nobody used it. Now, coincidentally, last week they used the yellow flag law in Maine and took somebody's firearms. And I think he was admitted for psychiatric help. So, they've realized the folly that it needs to be followed up on, so they did. But that would have solved this problem if the state of New York would have contacted law enforcement in Maine, state police, and said, we think this guy is a bit off. You might want to talk with him. And then we could have enacted the yellow flag law, because he had been talked to by the police here before. So this all went on for almost a year. This was going on. So, and the family last week, in case you don't know, Robert Card's family, the mass shooter in Lewiston, released a medical report of brain scans from Robert Card's dead body. And it was revealed that he had brain trauma. He was a hand grenade instructor in the military. And the concussions from the grenades caused brain damage. And that's what caused his schizophrenia. So that was out in the news last week. Of course, the media didn't talk about that really too much. I mean, the national media, because it makes you feel bad for the shooter. Well, I feel bad that the system failed. That was there to protect everybody, and it would have done its job. And now they're using that tragedy to pass gun legislation, and it's unfortunate. So basically, we need to police ourselves better. We all frequent gun groups, whether it's Facebook or wherever, and when you see people saying things that are crazy, take note of it. Take it seriously. You probably do. And it's okay to call your local law enforcement, show them the post you're talking about, maybe email them, do a screen capture of the post, send them a link to it, and say, I don't know exactly where this guy lives, but look what he's saying. I know they may get a lot of reports like that. It's easy to say after a shooting happens, you know, oh, well, this guy said this and that. Hindsight is 2020, but you know. So anyway, we're coming up on Montello School. That's another misconception about Maine law with regard to schools. A lot of people here believe that you can't have a firearm within 500 feet of school property. That is not true. The Maine statute specifically says you cannot discharge your firearm within 500 feet of a school if you're in an area that's okay to discharge a firearm, which Lewiston is not, unless you get on the outer city limit. So, sometimes people don't, thank you. Sometimes people don't think of these things, like these cars driving by. People own firearms in their cars, and they're driving within 500 feet of a school, so it just, you know, it's common sense. Anyway, the statute basically says you cannot have a firearm on school property. That's different. So anyway, I'm real happy about my health and my stamina that I have. I still wish I could go running, but when I was 10 years old, I got a weird infection in one of my knees and I got cartilage damage. So long distance running has been off the table since I was a teenager. But I can walk, damn it, and I'm walking. So the last live stream I did, I had about 12 people watching. Today I have one. That's okay. That was funny. She looked at me like, ooh, he's recording. I hope I look good. People are funny. So I'm going to hit the 5-mile mark around the corner up here. I don't have another mile to go. The camera on my head is going to stop after the 5-mile mark, but my cell phone live stream, I will keep it going and we'll end it before my destination, because I don't want people to know where my dwelling is. Getting barked at by a doggy. That's what dogs do. I think I'm going to do a Woods Walk Gun Talk video streaming live. I think I'll do that now that winter is going by. And I love birch trees. It's a cool tree. I like those. I want a birch tree in my living room. So we got some new tree damage here. the storm we had. I'm just glad I figured out how to record horizontally with this. Jeez, turns out it was my phone setting and not the YouTube app. This is a beautiful area in the fall when the leaves are all turning. All the trees around here are all on fire. Really pretty to look at. Can't wait till the city gets the street cleaners out here and cleans all this stuff up. Cut across here. And at nighttime when I walk through this part here, I run into a lot of deer. So they'll be right out in the road. So I know some people like to watch these walking videos, live streamers, and they like watching people walk through Toronto, New York City, Tokyo, all the big cities. Granted, you know, that's okay, but I don't have that here. I'd have to go to Boston. It's like a 3.5-hour drive, 3-hour drive. I mean, Boston's doable. I've gone there for Red Sox games and Boston Bruins games. And if you've never seen a baseball game at Fenway Park, it's really awesome. We've been to quite a few of those, actually. So, the subways in Boston is a lot to be desired. You take the T, take the orange, and then switch over to the green on the T. And in the summertime, it's hot, it smells bad. And if you don't mind seeing rats running around on the tracks. And it's interesting walking through Boston because it looks like sections of time just fell out of the sky randomly. Got this big glass skyscraper next to a church built in the 1600s. It's really weird. So this is that part. I got to keep my head on a swivel because there is a tree off to the left that has the bark missing because a car went off the road and hit it. And I do walk towards traffic because I want to see what's coming. As I've said many times, I don't want to be Stephen King'd. He was walking on the other side of the road, and somebody going by like that hit him, and he ended up in the hospital up the street from our house. He was transported to another hospital for some other surgeries, but he got pretty messed up. So that would be the author, Stephen King, Maine native. He's actually living currently not too far from here, about 20 miles, I guess, in Lovell. He actually, he bought the lake that he's on because he didn't like all the boat traffic outside his house. And then he banned the boat traffic on it. Really annoyed everybody. So that's what kind of person Stephen King is. But anyway, I don't want to get hit by a vehicle. It's So I just want to see what's coming. See, now you can tell I have a lot of experience doing these walks, and you can tell when people see you or not after a while. And at nighttime, not this street light, but the one after it is burnt out still. It's like too dark. I put a flashlight on so vehicles can see me. It's actually just the flash in my cell phone. So I just hit 5 miles. This here is a really old apple tree. This is kind of cool when it's full of apples. I've seen animals sit underneath it eating apples, and I've actually had videos on my channel where I grabbed one of these branches and shake the apples out of it for animals, and then the next time I come by here, you could see they were eating them. And I've seen porcupine before. Right here, I don't know if you could see those, but those are chickens in the chicken coop. I'd go up and get a video, but it's private property, and I don't want to be an annoying person. But those are the chickens. Oh, okay. I just figured out, see the text from the text messages on the screen. I got to put both fingers on the screen. So the Saxon 8 says, the thing I like most about your channel is common man type firearms. That is true. Then you also said tomorrow is supposed to be even nicer, which is also true. Okay, so now I know what I got to do to see. So anyway, that is the chicken coop. Oh, I think now the text will stay on the screen. Okay, I found the trick to that. Well, anyways, yeah, common man firearms. Everybody else is posting all the latest gizmos, doing the latest reviews, and nobody is doing follow-ups. You know, I got my Mechanic TP9 SA, probably 3,000 rounds through that easy. It's held up amazingly. I found out there is a gun school in the country that they use those in their gun school for teaching people. And he says he doesn't retire those till they've had 50,000 rounds through them. Think about that. So, and you can buy replacement barrels, but of course the slide wears out and all that stuff, so eventually you do have to replace your firearm. But with the Mechanic TP9 SA, apparently it'll last until 50,000 rounds or so before you really notice anything not cool with it. I've got at least 3,000 through it, and maybe more. I don't really count, but some of those were hard rounds, I call them. You know, 1,000 round case of Wolf ammo, Russian ammo, you know, steel case, and haven't had any issues. The only firearm I had an issue with, as far as build quality, was the GSG 1911. And there's 3 of them. Between my brother and I, there's 3 of them we own, and I'm the only one that's had a problem with one. And my firing pin shattered. And that's because you can't dry fire with 22. And I knew that, and I didn't really do that. I only did it a few times. So then I got my plastic and aluminum 22 dummy rounds, which was fine. But I did find a replacement pin online, made out of A2 steel, hardened, a hardened tool steel firing pin. So that's still running great. The only other rifle I've had build quality issues with, I hate to say it, is my Henry Big Boy Brass carbine in 357. It's a 2016 model. No side loading gates, but the ejector spring already broke in it. Firing pin broke. Now, granted, I called Henry, and somebody answers the phone when you call, or they have an answering service on the weekend. And somebody answered, and what happened was, told them what happened. Oh, no problem, sir. We'll get a new firing pin out to you right away. They paid for the shipping. They sent me a firing pin. I got it within 2 days. Priority mail. Same thing for the ejector spring, which I found out is the same one that fits on a Marlin. So you can put those on a Marlin 336. They also fit in a Henry. So they didn't send me just one, they sent me two. They sent me an extra one. Didn't have to ask. Didn't cost anything. They paid the shipping. Now my brother got a single shot Henry 4570 government 4570 single shot. It's pretty awesome. Beautiful piece of wood. That firearm had a problem. My brother was carrying it and it decided to fire by itself. It did. He was like, I did not do that. Because your first thing is like, oh, somebody's going to see I accidentally discharged my firearm and I'm going to get laughed at or yelled at or whatever, or both. Nope. Damn thing went off by itself. A little bit of research online. They had a lot of single shot Henry rifles that were recalled. And this was one of them. So Henry took the rifle back. It took them a long time to get a box out to ship it to them. Way too long. Like almost a month. It was ridiculous. And then you put the firearm in the box, you ship it to them, and they fix it. And they replace the trigger group. And you can tell a Henry single shot that's been repaired and won't shoot by itself, is you'll be able to see physically on it. They peen with a punch a dent behind the trigger, right in the trigger guard. So you can physically see that that dent is in there. That means it's been serviced by Henry and it's safe. So if you ever look at a used Henry single shot, and that stretched along a lot of different calibers. And it also had a really terrible trigger pull. So it went from an 11-pound trigger pull to about a 4 or 5 when they sent it back with the new trigger system. So, point is, Henry fixed everything, didn't cost anything. They honored their guarantee, lifetime warranty. Now, when they sent it back, it was like 95 degrees. It was really hot. Something with the plastic bag that they put it in reacted with the finish on the hard wood, and it melted the finish on the hard wood. So, yeah, the firearm works like it should, but now the finish is ruined. But it's still a pretty rifle. Cleaned it up, but it is a little marred. Nothing huge or dramatic, but that is what happened. So Henry is not perfect, but they did honor their lifetime warranty. It just took them a while to do it in that instance. But with my lever gun, the lever action 357, everything was immediate. Because I fixed it myself, I didn't have to send it to them. And they didn't have a problem with me taking the bolt apart, replacing the firing pin. It didn't void any warranty. That's the other thing I want to mention. A lot of these companies, if you service it yourself, it voids the warranty. So keep that in mind. But with my Henry, it was all right. So far so good. Nothing new. No new issues. Shot it last weekend. Shot 38 special, 100 yards. Plink, 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 plink. Very excellent rifle. I do wish I had a side loading gate, but I think because it doesn't, it actually makes it more vintage looking as far as Henrys go, and unique. So anyway, Saxon 8, thank you for asking the question about the common man's firearms, which basically means firearms people can afford and it's common. I don't have anything like actually I would love to have a SOCOM 16 and 308 styled after the old M14 and the M1 rifle. Love to have one of those. $2,000 rifle and up. I'd love to have one of those to review. I'm not lying, but I'm going to see if I can cross here without getting killed. That would be good. All right. We'll make it. So I'm going to be ending this stream in a couple minutes. I just wanted to say thank you for watching. And thank you for subscribing to the channel. And I really appreciate it. And I really am still contemplating monetizing the channel. But the thing is you have to have a certain amount of views every month to qualify for that, which I'm going to have to spend my day spamming my channel all over gun channels. Some channels will block me for it. And I don't know. I'll have to research that. But, oh, hello from Rumford. Saxon 8. Thank you for the walk and talk. Well, you're very much welcome. Very much welcome. Thank you very much. That means a lot to me, actually. Hope you have a beautiful day in Rumford. I'm here in Lewiston. Loud motorcycles. The motorcycles are out. That means there's nice weather. Well, I guess I'm just going to sign off. I'm going to flip this around. There we go. So anyway, I usually don't wear glasses. Those are just reading glasses. But you can see I got my GoPro on. That's the battery ran out, and I was talking to you on here, so I didn't change the battery. But that was just a backup anyway. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the live stream. Thank you in Rumford. Peace out. And just really thanks a lot for watching. Click liking and subscribing and all of that good stuff. So until some other day, friends, I will be streaming again. Yes, I will stay safe in the big city. You do the same. I've been to Rumford a couple of times anyway. And hope you enjoy the rest of this week. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.